The end of the month is a special kind of hell for a broke college student. My bank account was a flatlining EKG, and my next student loan disbursement was weeks away, which is why I was scrolling a shady campus forum for a class-sitting gig. The post was cryptic: Advanced Quantum Physics, Mon/Wed, $15 per class, just need you to sit there and look smart, DM for details. Who pays someone to attend a class for them, anyway? Probably some rich kid who valued their hangover sleep more than their education. I didn't care. $15 was $15. I sent a DM, a reply came instantly: you got the gig, the name's Griffin Price, just answer for me during roll call. My assigned seat is C4, the name meant nothing to me. I showed up the next Monday, found seat C4 in the tiered lecture hall, and settled in. The professor, a stern-looking woman named Dr. Albright, began roll call. Griffin Price, here. I mumbled, my voice barely a squeak. She ticked a box and moved on. Easy, then, a few minutes late, the door at the back of the hall creaked open. A guy walked in, all tousled dark hair, sharp jawline, and an air of casual confidence that screamed main character. He scanned the room, his eyes, a startling, intelligent blue, briefly meeting mine before he slid into an empty seat in the back row. The girl next to me swooned. Oh my god, it's Griffin Price. My blood ran cold. If that was Griffin Price, then who the hell had I been texting with? Panic, cold and sharp, seized me. This wasn't a simple case of a lazy rich kid, this was something else. I pulled out my phone under the desk, my fingers trembling as I opened my messaging app. The app wasn't the forum's DM system, it was my personal messenger. The chat history was 6 months long, filled with late-night conversations, shared memes, and a startling amount of emotional intimacy. The contact name was simply G. His profile picture was a silhouette against a sunset, anonymous but familiar. We had met on a niche online forum for astrophysics enthusiasts. He was witty, brilliant, and understood my ramblings about stellar nucleosynthesis. For 6 months, G had been my perfect online boyfriend, and for the last 5 minutes, he had also been my anonymous employer. The two Griffins, the one in my phone and the one in the back of the room, were the same person. My mind raced. He had hired me, a total stranger, to sit in his own class while he also attended it. Why, was this some kind of bizarre test, a prank? I spent the entire lecture in a haze, my meticulously written notes feeling like evidence in a crime I didn't even know I was committing. When the class ended, I practically bolted from the room, not daring to look back. That evening, a text buzzed on my phone. It was from G. How was your day? I stared at the screen, my heart hammering. I typed, uneventful, just school stuff, yours. Lying to him felt like swallowing shards of glass. His reply came a moment later. Same old, that quantum physics lecture is a real killer, though, glad I have someone smart taking notes for me. The casualness of it was a punch to the gut. He was playing with me. He had to be. I decided to play back, a little test of my own. Oh yeah, is the note taker any good? I texted, my thumb hovering over the send button. Exceptionally detailed. He replied instantly, captures everything, almost like she's actually interested in the material. My cheeks flushed. It was a compliment wrapped in an enigma. This bizarre charade continued for 2 weeks. I'd go to class, sit in his seat, and feel the weight of his gaze from the back of the room. Then, at night, I'd text with G, the charming, attentive guy who seemed to know all my secrets except the biggest one. One Wednesday, after class, my phone buzzed with a message from the anonymous number that arranged the gig. Your work is excellent. I'm raising your rate to $22 per class. Also, the TA is collecting homework today. Just leave it on the desk, I'll pick it up. $22. That was a significant jump, but the homework part made my stomach clench. I didn't do the homework, I was just a seat warmer. I quickly texted back, I didn't do the assignment. That wasn't part of the deal. The reply was swift. I did it. It's in a blue folder on the desk next to you. Just put my name on it and hand it in. He had done the homework himself, and still paid me to be there. None of this made any sense. Life settled into a strange rhythm. My bank account was slowly recovering, but my nerves were shot. My online relationship with G deepened. We started talking about our families. I told him about my parents, who poured all their resources into my brother's cliché startup, leaving me to scrape by on loans and part-time jobs. Real talent shouldn't be starved. He'd texted back. It was a simple sentence, but it made me feel seen in a way I hadn't in years. One night, feeling bold and a little reckless, I sent him a cheesy pickup line I found online. Are you a parking ticket? Because you've got fine written all over you. I cringed immediately after hitting send. It was so lame. A moment later, his reply came. Am I a magician? Because whenever I look at you, everyone else disappears. He had returned my cheesy line with one of his own. It was dorky, and sweet, and utterly disarming. The line between my two lives was blurring. I was falling hard for the guy who was unknowingly paying me to deceive him. The guilt was a constant, heavy weight in my chest. A week before midterms, I got another text from the work number. Hey Haley, quick question. He'd started calling me Haley, the fake name I'd given the forum account I used to get the gig. Hearing him use it felt wrong. What's up? I replied. Your notes are a lifesaver. Would it be okay if I borrowed your notebook for an hour? I want to scan a couple of pages from last week's lecture that I missed. My heart stopped. My notebook wasn't just any notebook. It was a special one I'd had for years. A hardcover journal with a distinctive silver star clasp. It was filled with not just my quantum physics notes, but my personal thoughts, doodles, and frustrations scribbled in the margins. It was uniquely mine. It was the physical proof that Haley wasn't real. I can just take pictures of the pages and send them to you, I offered, trying to deflect. I'd prefer to scan them for better quality. He insisted. I can meet you at the library entrance in 10. I promise I'll be quick. I was trapped. Refusing would be suspicious. With a sense of impending doom, I agreed. I met a student courier he'd sent, handed over my precious notebook, and felt like I had just handed over the keys to my entire secret life. An hour later, the courier returned it. I checked the pages. Everything seemed fine, but the feeling of dread didn't go away. The day of the midterm review arrived. Dr. Albright was going over key concepts, and the lecture hall was packed. I was in seat C4. As usual, Griffin was in his spot in the back. To illustrate this point, Dr. Albright said, Mr. Price's teaching assistant has prepared some excellent student notes to display as an example of what we're looking for. My head snapped up, the projector flickered to life, and my handwriting, my distinct, slightly slanted script, filled the giant screen at the front of the room. It was a page from my notebook. I could see my little doodle of a stressed out atom in the corner. I could see the way I used 3 different colors of ink to organize the equations. It was undeniably mine. A cold, metallic taste flooded my mouth, the taste of pure panic. The entire class was staring at the screen, at my notes. Then, whispers started to ripple through the room. Wait, isn't that Haley's notebook? The one with the star class, my cover name, my notebook, exposed. My blood turned to ice. I felt hundreds of eyes on me, slowly, as if moving through water. I turned my head and looked towards the back of the room. Griffin Price was already staring right at me. His face was a mask, no anger, no surprise, just a calm, unreadable intensity that terrified me more than any explosion of rage could. He knew, and now, so did everyone else. The world seemed to move in slow motion. Dr. Albright was still talking, oblivious, pointing at my frantic scribbles on the screen as a model of academic diligence. The irony was so thick I could choke on it. I felt my cheeks burn with a humiliation so profound it was almost physically painful. I wanted the floor to swallow me whole. The moment the lecture ended, I grabbed my bag and fled, not looking at anyone, especially not at him. I made it to the relative anonymity of the campus quad before my phone buzzed. It was an email from Dr. Albright. The subject line was a single, chilling word: meeting. The body was brief: Willa, please come to my office tomorrow at 10 a.m. to discuss a matter of academic integrity regarding my advanced quantum physics class. She had used my real name, Willa. She knew, of course, she knew. I wasn't even enrolled in her class. A quick check of the official roster would have exposed me. This was it. I was going to be expelled. My dreams of graduating, of escaping the life my parents had planned for me, were turning to dust, all for a few $100s. Tears of frustration and fear pricked at my eyes. I sank onto a cold bench, my body trembling. It was over. Everything was over. The meeting with Dr. Albright was a blur of quiet disappointment. She wasn't angry, which was somehow worse. She laid out the facts. I wasn't on the roster, yet my work, under Griffin's name, had been submitted. It was a clear violation of the university's honor code. I didn't try to deny it. I just sat there, numb, and confessed everything: the money, the desperation, the whole stupid mess. She listened patiently, her expression unreadable. The disciplinary committee will have to review this, Willa, she said finally. I can't make any promises. I walked out of